enough post, and unless he made some serious break, secure. The work was also congenial. He loved animals, and they seemed to recognize in him a friend. So far, none of them had ever turned on him or shown temper when he was with them. On the whole, too, he got on reasonably well with his staff. If his relations with his wife had been equally satisfactory, he might have been more content. But unhappily, these left a good deal to be desired. He settled down comfortably with his whisky and newspaper. This little rest should help him, and by dinner time he should be feeling normal. He was not, however, to be allowed to enjoy his relaxation. He had read for a few moments only when the door opened and his wife entered. She was dressed for the street and had evidently just reached home. Clarissa Surridge was a woman striking enough looking to attract the eye of the casual passer-by. Tall and with a presence, her well-cut clothes accentuated the lines of her fine figure. Her pale oval face had good features, though a discontented and rather unhappy expression. In spite of her makeup, usually much too lavish for her husband's taste, little lines appeared on her forehead and at the corners of her eyes, while streaks of grey marked her dark hair. Now she looked upset and annoyed, and George saw that he was in for trouble. "Oh, you're home," she began ungraciously, then continued in a hard, unsympathetic voice. "The car's broken down again. I thought I'd never get back. Either the car's done or Pratt doesn't know how to manage it." George's heart sank. The car undoubtedly was old. It had been a good Morton in its day, but of course 5 years was 5 years. It was certainly shabby, though the engine was sound. Recently he had had a rebore, and he had also got a new battery, tyres, and other fittings. It really wasn't too bad. "What's the matter now?" he asked, with an unpleasant accent upon the last word. Clarissa closed the door not too gently and advanced into the room. "I've just told you. What are you going to do about it?" "Nothing. The car's all right." He glanced down at his paper, as if he had closed the subject, then looked up again. "What went wrong?" "How do I know? I'm not a mechanic." Her voice indicated with uncompromising clarity that the subject was anything but closed. "Well, what happened?" went on George impatiently. "It stopped." His wife warmed to her subject as she proceeded to develop it. "I had just set down Margaret Marr at the shop when it stopped, there in King Street in the middle of the traffic. The police came over and a crowd gathered while it was being pushed into the curb. I don't know when I felt such a fool." "What has Pratt done about it?" "I don't know what he's done about it, and I care less. What I know is that it's the 3rd time it has happened in a couple of months." George Surridge jerked himself about in his chair. Really, women's notions were the limit. "Rubbish," he said shortly. "Every car goes wrong occasionally." "Well, as I tell you, it's gone wrong once too often. I give you warning, I'm not going on with it any longer. Why, it's 6 years old if it's a day. 5. It's the same thing. When are you going to get a new one? I've spoken about it often enough." "Speaking about it won't provide the money. I've told you I can't afford it at present." "What nonsense. We have plenty of money. If not, where has it all gone to?" George lifted his paper again as if to read, then once again dropped it. "You would have all that painting done? Only for that I might have managed it." If this was meant as an olive branch, it failed in its purpose. Clarissa's eyes flashed angrily, and her voice took on a more bitter tone. "Oh, my fault, of course. That painting. Why, it's years since anything was done, and your committee friends wouldn't move, though it was their liability. I suppose they have no money either. They thought they had done enough for 1 year with the new electric wiring. Yes, tear the place to bits, and then leave it like that. I'd like to know how I was to have my friends in if the house was like a pigsty." This touched a sore spot.